All right, there. Greetings and salutations. I'm going to be talking a little bit low because it's after midnight here and there's people in the house asleep. So, I just got back from watching the fireworks and been had a great time doing that. And so I figured I'd knock out this Riley video real quick. Now, Riley put himself out a video today, decided he was going to mention me, talking about Ramsey for some reason. Don't exactly know exactly why he chose Ramsey instead of Bride, but hallelujah. And don't know why he did that, but hey, that's just what it is. So he went down and got himself some new footage. I have to say, this footage was far better than his last beach footage. And let's go ahead and go over that real quick. Now, hey, what's going on, you guys? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and see how quickly I can knock this out. This one's pretty easy. So, first of all, he went back down to the beach. This is actually a view from up on the hill. Uh, Now, you can see all this neat crap going on here on the horizon. Superior Mirage, pretty simple. Nothing. This is the Bride area. Um, then, of course, there's all these cuts going on. This is not the actual natural terrain. Yes, it does slope down. Yes, there is a drop, but it doesn't look like this typically. Uh, as well as anybody who saw the video that Reds Rhetoric and Sean Hufford put out about the Chicago observations from that dune. You got some real good superior mirage going on here. You can almost put it in the Flying Dutchman style, but nevertheless, he continued on. Now he brought up this conglomerate from last time. Now, there's an interesting point that needs to be made here, and that is that for some reason, Riley decided he was going to say that Ramsey is out here somewhere. From the point of view from St. B's, Ramsey is right here about where this cut is, right below this. So I don't know why he's talking about it out here, but we'll keep on moving on. Um, so what I did was I put together hold on, I put together a screenshot collage, a composite of the stuff that Riley put out. Now it is, like I said, it's very nice, very clear, very sharp. I was very impressed with it and very happy with it. Now this is from up on top of the hill. You can very easily see Snaefell, North Barul, whatever that other one is, that kind of long one is behind it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ramsey would be about here. Um, and you notice that there's actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and zoom in on it just so people know what I'm talking about here. There's nothing going on between these two except for this little bump here. There's nothing going on here. So I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out before we continue. Now, and then here is the north end of the island where Bride and all that is. You know, otherwise known as Scotland, otherwise known as Ireland, otherwise known as a lighthouse that's pointing for some reason inland, and smokestacks somewhere in Ireland. So we'll continue on. And then he went down to the beach level, and this time he was I put him about 5 feet. He actually said about 10 feet, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and I said it looked more like about 5 feet, which actually gives him more that actually gives more leverage to his claim. Now, down at the beach level, you will notice I've even put a red line here because the contrast might be a little rough in the hangout. Um, you will notice that beyond the Ramsey area, I guess it would be probably about here this time, because more is being obstructed by the curvature of the Earth. There's not really much going on over here. Um, Not much at all. Now, he does zoom in a little while. I'll go over that, uh, and I'll show you what that was all about. But nevertheless, what you're noticing is that this horizon seems to be in a different position as the last horizon. Now what I did was, I hope it'll keep the zoom level. This is the composite from the top of the hill. This is slowly blending in the composite from the beach level. Okay, now we're going to go ahead like this. We just go through these a couple of times. Again, like I said, this time he got the stuff very sharp. Now if you'll notice, the stuff here around the Ramsey area kind of pulls in a little bit. Now the reason why it pulls in is because more is being obstructed by curvature of the Earth. And as we showed a second ago, yeah, there's a good little bit of stuff going on the horizon, but it's only covering a very small portion of it. So, see this? Now, the reason why the horizon is higher, all I did was I matched up the hilltops of Snaefell and North Barul and the little outcropper here. I matched up those hilltops and then just, oops, and then just scaled down. Being vertical, only in the X and Y axis. And what you see is that the horizon comes up. You can even see the boat that was out there, which was obviously traveling from right to left in the time that it took him to get from the top down to the bottom, or down to the beach. And you will notice that even though it seems to be pointing somewhat in our direction, kind of traveling to our left and closer, when he got down to the beach, it's almost up on the horizon now. Pretty simple, right? Now, of course, he'll say that the horizon never moved, but just like last time, the horizon moved. So, now, what we need to find out is to find out exactly how much did the horizon go up. Well, there's a neat little method for doing that, and that is if you know your location and then you know the location of two other things and the distance between you and them, and then you draw a line between you and those 2 points, at the distance that you want to find out how many feet or how many meters is being uh, shown, then what you do is you draw a straight line between the two of those, making a right angle down to your observer location. You measure this line and you'll get the scale amount of feet at that distance. Now, so what I did was I decided that I was going to measure the distance to find out how much is actually being obscured here. And so I took the peak of Snaefell and the peak of North Barul, and hold on, and I applied that method. Okay, because this was the observation point at St. Bees, right down at the bottom of these stairs, sorta a little bit further in front there. He was very good about showing this time where he was, which is fine. And then these are lines of sight going to. That's taking a little bit of a long time there. Going to the peak of North Barul. Funny, when you put in North Barul here, it gives you the slope on the side. But this is the peak of North Barul, and this is the peak of Snaefell. And what I did was, at the distance of Ramsey, I drew a line between the two of them. And this line came out to be about 2,600 feet between the two of them. That means that when I go back to here, this, at the distance of Ramsey, is 2,600 feet. Now you can do this at any distance, and as you get closer, obviously the distance between the two of them will shorten. And as you go further all the way out to Snaefell, I think it comes out to like 3,000 feet or something like that. It goes outwards. So here's what I did here. These are all the numbers that I used. What I made was I made myself a cute little scale here, broken up into 4 major parts and then 8 half points for the 2,600 feet at the distance of Ramsey. And then 325 feet for each little block. Now, like I said he was at about he gave it about 10 feet. I gave it 5 feet. Okay, because he was kind of low. But I gave him 5 feet off the water at 33 miles. Goes for 610 feet of obstruction. Now, when he was up on the hill, that was 100 feet, again at 33 miles, and that's only an obstruction of 287 feet, a difference of 323 feet. Now, this is the same scale, this is the same scale, this is the same scale, okay? And if you'd like to see me do it, here, watch this. I'll go ahead and turn it like this. Now, each one of these lines here is 325 feet. We're saying 323. It's just a little bit short of it, if you see there. Now, I'm not saying that that's 2 feet of difference. It's actually a little bit more there. But nevertheless, for doing this in PowerPoint, you get the picture. Okay, so this is how it comes out to the exact amount of curvature expected, or obstruction expected by those two different viewpoints. Okay, so thank you again, Riley, for proving the curvature of the Earth. Now, what he also wanted to go into was the fact that you can see Bride. This is apparently Bride. Now, I do admit there are some raises here, but if you watch the actual video, they are waving and all that stuff. I am not saying that they are not um, refracted views of land, but if you watch the video, it's anything other than solid. It kind of waves along, and he even says during his presentation, what was the? I even wrote down the quote. Definitely an optical effect distorting the horizon. Okay, which means there's all kinds of wavy crap going on here, and I don't really need to break out the dang Jaws video to show that that's possible to see this, even though Bride itself would be behind the curvature of the Earth. Okay, now this is where he got. Here's where he zoomed in on it. Okay, and yep, I'll say that this tiny smidgen, which would barely even be visible, if at all visible from the naked eye, um, is all wavery and just kind of jello-y. And sorry, it's not a solid thing. So, and it wouldn't be less than from when you were up on the hill. But this was the funny part. Okay, here's the edge of Bride, um, and that smeary stuff that we were just showing. And he's saying now he just kind of lowers this thing down to it. And he says that this right here, whatever the hell this is, which was not visible from the top of the hill, he's calling this Ramsey. Now, where that is, just to give you a comparison here, oops, that's, oops, I'm on the wrong one. That's like right about here. If not, it might even be this chunk right here in front of here. It's kind of difficult to put all that together on his highly zoomed in stuff because there's no points of reference to anchor your composite on. And so it's probably this right here, what he was looking at. Ramsey's over here, dude. So, and Ramsey is under. If I were to put in the even more clear uh, image here, you see where this second set of hill comes down here? That lands at Ramsey, right down here. So it's before this nose cone that we were all talking about before. It's before that, a lot before that. So saying that it's way out there, this is probably, like I said, this is probably the beginning of Bride, the refraction of Bride there, and then this is that hump before it, which I was just showing it, wasn't I? Somewhere. Which was this junk right here. So either it was over here and it's something that wasn't visible for some reason from the top of the hill, or it's actually this piece right here. Nevertheless, it's not, uh, it's far from Ramsey. So, once again, Riley, I really appreciate you proving the globe for us. And feel free to apply any of these methods that I have used. Please go ahead and show me anything that would show this to be incorrect. I know that all you're going to say is that I'm just dishonest and that I'm a liar, because that's all you can say. Um, but by your own footage, I thank you very much for proving the globe again. So, ladies and gents, I really hope you enjoyed me analyzing Riley's newest footage. And but it is now approaching 1 a.m. here in Germany, so I'm going to head off to bed. Y'all have yourselves a nice night.